What's up, guys? In today's video, we're going to be taking a look at another series of Gundam Converge figures. This is set number 28 in the line, and as usual, we've got a really good spread of like lead Gundams, grunt suits, enemy mobile suits anyway. So in here we've got the 00 Gundam and the O Riser, which of course are going to be able to be combined. We've got the white Gundam, the Zaku and Char Zaku, all from Gundam GQ, and then we've got the Jim Custom and the Quel up there for a couple of like variants. So with this being a box of 10 and we're going to have some doubles inside, I would say we're probably going to have one each of the Zakus, one each of the Jims there, and then probably two of the white Gundam, two of the 00, and two of the Riser would be my guess anyway. So we'll see here in just a second, but again, this is just like a store display box here if you order a whole set of them. Let's go ahead, pop it open and check it out. Yeah, I think I was right about that. So two of the 00 Gundam, two of the O Riser, two of the white Gundam, one each of the Zakus, and one each of the Jims there. And one thing you'll notice on some of the boxes, there's the QR code here for the 00 Gundam, the O Riser, and the white Gundam all have this QR code. That is for instructions for it. I get that there's instructions for like how to combine these two. I'm not sure what the instructions are going to say there for the white Gundam. We'll check that out. But going in a numerical order here, starting off with 309, we've got the 00 Gundam here. It looks really cool. You have like the colorway is always represented here on the box, and like the color swatch, like detail images there on the front, so that looks good. It looks like on the back we do have an image of how that's going to look when it's combined with the O Riser, so you can see it's got the weapon and the binders there on the arms and everything, compared to, it looks like we've just got the regular GN rifle, I believe is maybe what that is, although I could be wrong about that. There's so many different GN guns. But as usual, on the back side you've also got some information about the Gundam there, or the mobile suit anyway, and that's all in Japanese, that text there, and then the lineup here for this volume. And so for this kit on its own, I don't think we're really going to need instructions, at least for the moment, but we can go ahead and pop this out here. Got our Bandai chewing gum included because this is a candy toy, and then inside it's just going to be the main Gundam, the display base, the V-fin, the weapon, and then a little connection piece there, a little clear connection piece. Interesting. Definitely a nice little clear piece there for the front of the head there, with that being in clear red. It's just going to plug on here to the front. And you can see for the hands, we've got a closed fist here for the left side. The right side has that hole in the hand that's going to be for our weapon here. They use that really dark, almost like kind of black gunmetal kind of color there for some of the like joints, the hands, the weapon. It's a little bit too dark for my taste. I wish that they wouldn't use quite that dark, like a black, metallic black there basically for those parts. I mean, it looks pretty good overall, but it's a little dark. Yeah, so normally to plug this onto the display base, there'd be a hole on the underside of the feet. The feet are small, but they're not like that small. I think they could have done a hole on the bottom of the feet, but you can see we do have a lot of nice detail there. And so that's what that little clear piece is for. So you're gonna put the clear piece here onto the base, and then the foot is going to fit into there, just down onto there like that. And there we go. So that's it. I do like the colors on this one though. The blue has a kind of nice shine to it that does look really nice here on the back. I mean, it definitely could use some detail painting and some panel lining on here, as I always say, and that is something that I have done a number of times in the past. If you guys have not seen that, go back and check that out. But these are really easy to detail up. You just gloss coat everything first, then you can go into your panel lining, add some decals on there if you want, detail paint it, and then, you know, whatever gloss coat or matte coat, whatever, to finish it off. It does add a lot to these, and it just really improves the look of it. But the metallic green used for the GN condensers there looks nice. I wish that that was the same color they used for the eyes. The eyes being in a kind of metallic, or is it metallic or clear? Okay, those are clear green. Anyways, the clear green set in like the black, therefore the eyes doesn't really shine very brightly at all. I mean, it catches the light a little bit, but I almost kind of wish they would have used this nice bright metallic green here for the eyes as well. Kind of would have looked nice there for that. But all right, then moving on to number 310, which is going to be the O Riser. And here you can see the display base is going to be a little bit different. I kind of wish they would have used the same black display base, because if you've got like a big collection of these, this one's going to stand out. I mean, it's obviously going to stand out because it's not a mobile suit, but I wish that they would have used the same black base. But then there's a connection arm for this, for holding it up. It's got the part which is basically going to be the backpack, the weapon, and then the shoulder binders there, and that's the combination of it. And again, it's the same image here on the back showing the 00 Riser, the combined form between the two. there for that. So I do like that we got doubles of the 00 Gundam and of the O-Riser, because then that means I can have one displayed like as a combination of the two, and then I can also have them displayed separately if I wanted to. Now, people sometimes ask me on that note about my Converge display. I actually don't have any of them displayed at the moment. They're all boxed up. It's like a project for someday to have like a nice big wall or some kind of cabinet full of all my Gundam Converge figures, which I have a lot of, as you guys know. So, but anyway, it's just nice to have doubles of kits that have multiple forms. So here it is all put together with that small clear display base there. Interesting that we've got a clear orange piece for the canopy, which looks really nice. And then the blade, I was looking at this trying to figure out if that's a metallic green or a clear green. I think that's a clear green part, and then we have the white painted over the top of it for the blade of that. Otherwise, just made up of a few different parts there, again, as you can see, and this is how it's just going to look as a set on its own here. Like the combination of the two just going to look like that, and we'll take a look at how these are combined together here. All right, here it is combined together. Actually pretty simple. You really kind of don't need the instructions. If you scan that QR code and go to the instructions, it does kind of show you, but really, yeah, it's fairly simple. You just kind of remove the GN drives off the shoulders, replace it with the binders there, fold that part there, or just kind of take that part apart on the backpack, put it back on there, and then the weapon. It's all pretty straightforward. Now, one thing that I always kind of talk about in these Converge reviews is that they're really not meant to be articulated, but some of them do have like a little bit of articulation. Usually like the arms can rotate, so you can raise that up. The head can always rotate a little bit if you want to adjust the angle of that slightly. But another kind of cool aspect of articulation here, the shoulder binders actually can be rotated forward and back there at the top of the shoulder. So if you wanted them like a little bit further to the back, or just like straight out to the side, or like off to the front a little bit, something like that could be kind of cool. You can then rotate them forward and back here like this as well. So yeah, kind of a little bit of nice variance that you can make in the pose for this one if you wanted to adjust the pose of it a little bit. Slight bit of articulation. All right, then moving on to number 311 here. 311 is the white Gundam, and for this one I checked the instructions. Really, the instructions are only kind of for those little bits that go on like the shoulders and the sides, the legs, those dark gray bits. They're going to come on like a separate runner. Otherwise, you can see we've just got the beam rifle, the shield. I don't think we're going to have a beam saber or anything, but here you can see there are those little parts on the shoulders, the elbows, and the knees. Obviously not the elbow if you have the shield attached onto there, I believe. But yeah, no beam saber with this, it looks like. Because normally if that was included, it would be shown on the image on the back, I believe, usually, but I don't know, I could be surprised when we open this up here, I kind of don't think so. All right, so anyway, so there's the main body and the head, the base, and then yeah, some parts on runners, which is kind of unusual. So the shield, the beam rifle, the V-fin, all there. Those little gray bits, and also the beam saber handles for the backpack. You're just gonna have to snip off this little runner here before you can put those on it. All right, and then all put together here, just minus the shield at first, just to kind of show you how this is going to look without that. One thing that I'll say, incredibly detailed here for this. Again, definitely begging for some detail painting, at the very least some panel lining here. Even on the backside, again, the detail painting of like what comes pre-painted is always gonna be a little bit less on the backside, but you can see all that really nice detail up underneath the feet here as well. I'll put it onto the base in just a minute. There's that hard point for attaching it onto the base. But even like on the backside of the head, like the ammo belts there for the Vulcans, there you can see some really nice detail all around, even in the eyes there, those being painted in that metallic blue. You've got the little bits of metallic purple for like the cameras on the head and the face. The yellow accents there in the arms look nice. I will say it's not like one of my favorite Gundam designs, especially just like in the head there, but as far as just like the detail level on this Converge figure, it looks really good. Here is the shield. The backside of the shield also has a ton of detail there. So in order to attach that, just gonna remove this bit here off the side of the elbow and just attach the shield on there in its place, and then attach it down here onto the base just like that. And that's how that is going to look. Actually looks really nice. I think the white Gundam here in like the traditional Gundam tricolor scheme looks really cool with the little red accents on the feet. Kind of a cool little touch there. But yeah, there's the white Gundam. I like it. Sticking with Gundam GQuacks, then we're on to the Char Zaku. and it's definitely got a very interesting looking stance to it, doesn't it? I mean, like, I know it's got kind of like a wide stance, but I don't know, the stance on this one looks a little bit goofy, I have to say, at least on the image. Maybe it's going to look better when we take a look at this. Now, I'm wondering if we're going to have a difference in the weapons. So you can see this one's coming with the Zaku machine gun, and then for the back image, you can see we also have the bazooka included. Now, I just want to take out the regular Zaku. So the regular Zaku is going to also have the machine gun. And then, yeah, as I assumed, as I was kind of thinking, that it's also going to come with the heat hawk. So there's going to be a difference in the weapon options here between the two, obviously aside from the color difference, and then the commander antenna there on the head, which I also wonder if there's an option to not have the commander antenna on the head, although it kind of wouldn't really make sense, but I'm just curious about that. We'll see. It looks pretty cool for the box art. Let's go ahead and check it out. All right, inside here. So again, this is another one where it would have been cool to have doubles because we have two different weapon options here for this, but at least we've got two different Zakus. This one I'm probably going to go with the bazooka ultimately for this, just because it's kind of more unique to Char's Zaku here in this case. And I will point out a couple of interesting things here as I'm going to start off with the Zaku machine gun just to show you. But so number one, the hand is molded in together with the weapon, and that's going to be the same for the bazooka here as well. But yeah, definitely that wide stance looks pretty goofy here. I do kind of wish they would have had the legs like at least a bit more of an angle or something. I don't know, like I said, I know it's kind of a very wide hip mobile suit, but definitely looks a bit odd here. So, but it's interesting that the commander antenna was not a separate piece. Normally, like in every other instance where I've seen anything like this in Converge form, that's a separate bit that you have to attach onto here. For this to be just included as a part of that molded part there for the head is certainly a little unique. A lot of really great real estate here on the shoulder shield to add a decal onto there, and then you can rotate the mono-eye here as well. If you pop the top of the head off here, that part you can adjust, and I do like that nice bright metallic pink used for the mono-eye. That shines really nicely there. So again, while these aren't really meant to be articulated necessarily, that little bit of articulation, being able to adjust the eye, is pretty cool. Here on the back side, again, a lot of really nice detail with you having like the three main colors. You have like the dark maroon, this kind of medium red color, and then that light salmon pink kind of color there. All look really nice. And attached to the base here, like I was saying before with the 00 Gundam, the feet are pretty small, and I can't imagine that the feet here are that much smaller. Actually, I think the feet on this one are smaller than on the 00 Gundam, and yet we don't need the connection piece here for that. I do just kind of not really like when they have to use those clear connection parts for the feet. In some cases, it is like rather necessary just based on like the foot design, but this, I mean, even though the feet are really small, we still just have the hard point there set in the bottom of the foot to just be able to attach it directly onto the base. It's definitely preferable. But all right, then for number 313, the regular Zaku, the GQ version, basically is going to be the same. It's going to have a different part for the top of the head that will not have the commander antenna, and then again, the difference is going to be in the weapons. Once again, we do have the machine gun, but our alternate weapon in this case is going to be the heat hawk. So this one, I guess, would make sense to display it with the heat hawk then, instead of with the Zaku machine gun. But then, I don't know, or do we go Zaku machine gun for this one, or the heat hawk? Let's see. And then the other thing to point out too, of course, is that the weapons are compatible. It's the same. So if you wanted to give the bazooka from Char's Zaku here to the regular Zaku, or like vice versa with the heat hawk or whatever, you can do that as well. But once again, the mono-eye is movable. I do like the part here for the top of the head is in that two-tone. You have the lighter green at the top and the darker green for the back half of the head. We've got, again, a nice mix of that like very dark green, the dark green, and the main green color here for the colorway on this. There's the bottom side of the feet, and again, the shield is just really begging for a nice decal on there. Easy to pop off. The shield here too as well, and you've got a little bit of detail there on the underside of that. The weapons, again, though, being molded in that dark metallic black, definitely begging for some detail painting on those as well. But I do think it looks pretty good there with the heat hawk, so that's how we'll keep it for now. Right, then finally some proper universal sentry here with the Gym Custom. Looks really nice here in Converge form. Obviously the eye is not going to glow, the visor is not going to glow, although in the promo images they always make it look like the eyes and the visors on these mobile suits are glowing. Really would be cool to wire it up with some LEDs or something in there. I think I've seen it done before, but it is kind of tricky with these being not model kits, but just figures, a little bit more difficult than if it were a model kit. No other smaller image here on the back, because there's obviously not going to be any variation or anything with this. Definitely would have been cool to have like a beam saber as an option for this, or you could use either the rifle or the beam saber in hand. That would have been nice. And again, I'm assuming it's not included because it's not pictured here on the back, but I could be in for a surprise, I suppose. But let's pop it open and see. All right, doesn't seem so, as we've got the mobile suit there, the base, the rifle, the shield, and then in there's the little antenna part for the back of the head, and that's it. All right, and yeah, this looks really, really nice here. The clear orange for the visor looks great, and you can make out that nice detail underneath, just to give you guys a nice close-up look at that. And then one thing just with this set in general, I haven't really mentioned until now, but the quality control has been nice. Haven't seen any like paint goof ups or anything. Now on this one, you really only have a couple of small paint apps, the camera there on the head, a couple of these little bits here on the front, but everything looks really quite nice, I have to say. The back could definitely use with some detail painting on there, as you can see up underneath the feet, the detail there. I do also like that the color they went with for this is a little bit more kind of subdued. I think they could have gone with like a little bit of a brighter color for the Gym Custom, but I do like this color. It's sort of like a grayish blue. Once again, the shield is really begging for a nice decal on there. And then I haven't put the rifle on. I just wanted to point this out to you guys. Kind of cool. For the rifle, they made the handle at like a little bit of an angle, just because it has that clip there, that magazine or whatever, sticking out the back that kind of needs to fit around the side of the arm. And so in hand there, it's just kind of barely gonna fit into there, into like the space between the arm and the body. But there's how it's gonna look with the rifle, and then attached onto the base. Gotta say, definitely really liking the look of this one. This is kind of like classic Converge for me. I really like it. It's definitely got that leaning stance to the front there. That's pretty extreme, I gotta say, for this one, but it looks great. All right, last but not least then, we've got the Quel, which is for the most part a recolor of the Gym Custom. It's got different shoulder armor, and then the head is going to be a little bit different, but then the rest of the body, the arms, the legs, the shield, the rifle is all going to be the same. A little bit different painting here, obviously, with the top vents on the chest also in yellow, whereas on the Gym Custom they're not. But the Quel looking awesome here in those Titans colors. And I am kind of wondering about the visor. Again, it looks glowing in the promo images, but with that being clear orange and then just these very dark parts around that, I'm curious as to if that's going to be very hard to see. I think probably it will, but hopefully they like painted like silver or chrome or something kind of underneath the clear part, just so that it shines a little bit better. And all right, so the contents here, again, basically all the same. At a glance, it looks like maybe there's a little bit of that, but let's see. All right, so here it is. It definitely looks really cool. Again, has that same stance there, and from the backside, all the same molding here for the most part. Again, the head is going to be slightly different. You'll notice the mold of the head, the back half is the same. The front half is going to be a little bit different. The vents on the side of the head are different, and then obviously that crown part above the visor is different there as well. And I'm also noticing one thing that I hadn't noticed before in the chest. The chest is actually a little bit different as well. The collar piece just below the head has different detail there, and then the Quel has the addition of this little chest camera there that the Gym Custom doesn't have. So aside from just being recolored, there is actually a little bit of a difference in the mold. Also, the Gym Quel, another thing I'm just noticing here, the Gym Quel, the front of like the cockpit hatch there is different than on the Gym Custom. So anyway, a number of differences that I had not immediately noticed. But again, otherwise then you have the different shoulders, and then just different colorway here for this. But again, I think that does look really, really nice. For the visor there, you do have what looks to be like some silver painted on the part there inside underneath the clear orange. So it does catch the light a little bit, and it looks like there's like a hollow gap on the inside. So it seems that it's almost made so like if you wanted to wire this up with an LED, I mean, you would just have to drill up into there, or just kind of remove this part, or open up the head, which I wonder how easily or difficult that would be. That panel line there is not an actual separation of two halves. The head is all one solid piece, and just kind of this crown part there on the front is a separate part. But you could basically just use that as a guide to saw the head in half, and then, you know, stick an LED into there, into what looks like a hollow little hole there right in the center, and then basically just glue the head back together. Not something that I'm gonna do, but definitely would be pretty cool, I think. And I was just mentioning about the quality control, but it looks like on this one I do have a little bit of like the paint scuffing or something, it looks like a little bit on the front of that crotch pit there. That's unfortunate, but pretty easy to touch up. But anyway guys, that's gonna just about do it here for volume 28. Let me know in the comments which one is your favorite among this set. I gotta say, I'm definitely partial to the Gym Custom and the Quel. They all look really, really nice though. I was actually impressed with the White Gundam. I wasn't expecting to really like that one all that much, just again because I'm not a huge fan of the design, in particular the face, but it does look really, really nice in Converge form, very detailed. The Double O Riser is cool, the combination of those two. The Zakus are great, but definitely have that very wide, kind of goofy looking stance to them. But again, the great thing with this volume, like all of like the normal volumes, is that you have a really diverse representation of UC, non-UC, you've got Gundams, antagonist mobile suits, and grunt mobile suits, so like a good mix. There are some sets, like special sets, that there will be like particularly like from one series, or just like all Xeon aquatic mobile suits or stuff like that, but usually with like the main line of volume releases, they do have a really nice mix in there. So it's kind of something for everyone, or if you just like a mix of a lot of different things, then they're great to just kind of have a lot of different stuff in there, quite varied. So hope that you guys enjoyed taking a look at this volume. If you did, you can leave a like. If you're not yet subscribed yet, make sure to subscribe. I will be taking a look at more Converge stuff in the future, and just more Gunpla and model kits and everything. Of course, if you want to check out some more Gunpla, model kits, paints, tools, supplies, and all that good stuff for yourself, you can check the link in the video description to USA Gundam Store. Got all sorts of great stuff there on the site. Converge stuff occasionally, not a whole lot and not very often, but there is sometimes some Converge stuff you can find on their other Candy Toy series, like the Gundam Architect series sometimes as well, so you just kind of have to check in on that. But that's going to do it for this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate your support. Until next time, hope you're doing well. See y'all later. Bye, guys.